My name is Harper Kane. I'm 39. To the small town of Willow Creek, Montana, and especially to my father and brother, I'm the daughter who threw it all away. Dropped out of sight after community college, never came back to run the family lumber mill, never married a local boy, never posted baby pictures on Facebook. Dad still tells people at the VFW hall that I'm somewhere out west bartending or whatever failed kids do these days. My brother Caleb, the heir apparent, loves finishing the story with a chuckle. Harper always talked big. Turns out, talk was all she had. They never asked why I left. They never wondered why the checks kept clearing when the mill almost went under in 2017, or why the new kiln arrived anonymously donated right before bankruptcy. They just assumed I was a screw-up. And when Mom's will was read 6 months ago, they saw their chance to erase me for good. Mom left me 45% of the mill shares, enough to matter. Caleb and Dad contested it immediately. She abandoned the family business, their lawyer argued in the Gallatin County probate courtroom. No job history, no residence in Montana for 15 years, no visible means of support. She's a freeloader trying to cash in on a woman who wasn't in her right mind the last 2 years. I sat in the witness chair wearing a plain charcoal blazer, hair pulled back, no makeup, no jewelry except the small matte black titanium band on my right ring finger. It looks like a cheap wedding band. It's actually a service token given only to members of select DARPA engineering cadres, unmarked, untraceable, unforgettable to anyone who's ever seen one up close. Their lawyer, a Billings hotshot in cowboy boots and a $3,000 suit, leaned in. Miss Kane, show this court one document, W-2, 1099, LinkedIn profile, anything that proves you've held legitimate employment since 2010. Or admit you've been living off your mother's generosity while contributing zero. The courtroom smelled like old varnish and radiator heat. Dad sat in the front row, arms folded, jaw set like he was watching a stranger get what she deserved. Caleb smirked beside him, already mentally spending my share. I took a slow breath, the kind you take before threading fiber optics through a live warhead. Then I nodded to my attorney, Rachel Voss, former Navy JAG, now the go-to for people whose lives don't appear in public records. Rachel stood without flourish. Your Honor, the petitioners have predicated their entire case on the absence of public employment data. We submit for in-camera review only a limited declassification memorandum authorized under 10 U-130C and DOD Directive 5205.07. It pertains to the defendant's service with a special access program. Dad snorted loud enough for the whole room to hear. Special access? She can't even access her own bank statements half the time. The judge, a retired Air Force Academy grad with silver hair and zero patience for theatrics, accepted the black envelope sealed with red wax and the eagle crest. He broke the seal alone in chambers. 10 minutes later he returned, face unreadable, and sat down hard. Counsel, he said to the other side, your investigator did excellent work. For a civilian. Unfortunately, he was searching for the wrong woman. He turned pages slowly. The room held its breath. Miss Kane holds the civilian grade of GS-15 Step 10, equivalent to a full colonel. She is Principal Systems Engineer for a classified hypersonic propulsion program under DARPA, AFRL, and Lockheed Skunk Works Black projects. Her identity is compartmented at the SAP level. Public records are intentionally blank because any footprint could compromise ongoing weapons systems testing and national defense. Caleb's smirk vanished. Dad's arms dropped like dead weight. The judge kept reading, voice steady but edged with something close to awe. The anonymous is $1. $2 million line of credit that saved this mill during the 2018 timber crash? routed from her hazard pay and incentive bonuses through 3 cutout foundations. The new log debarker installed last spring, funded by the same. The experimental cancer treatment your wife received in Seattle when Medicare denied it? That was her too, $340,000, untraceable, because she couldn't risk the exposure. I finally looked at Dad, not with anger, with something colder. Clarity. I built systems that fly at Mach 12 so your grandkids can sleep safe at night. I did it while you told everyone I was nothing. I never asked for credit. I just asked you to believe I wasn't a failure. You chose not to. The judge dismissed the contest with prejudice, awarded me legal fees, compensatory damages for defamation $75,000, and control of my full share. Then he looked at Dad and Caleb one last time. You spent years diminishing a woman who kept your legacy breathing. Maybe spend the next ones learning who she actually is. I stood. No dramatic flourish, just walked past them. Past the man who raised me to believe my worth was tied to staying small. Past the brother who profited from my erasure. Out the double doors into the sharp Montana October air. In the parking lot, I unclipped the titanium band, slipped it into my pocket. For 15 years, I'd worn invisibility like armor. Today, I took it off. I got in my truck, the same beat-up Tacoma I've driven since 2012 because flashy cars draw eyes, and headed west toward the test range outside Bozeman. The radio played low. For the first time in forever, the silence inside my head felt like peace, not absence. Never let them convince you your shadow means you're small. Sometimes the shadow is just what happens when you're standing between the world and the light. If this story hit something real for you, drop your own version in the comments. We see you. Let me know if you want another one or tweaks.